Holy moly Toffoli. Let's go, baby. What was I saying in the last video? Yeah, it was a garbage goal, but hopefully that helped get the monkey off his back. Well, I think it did just that as a hat trick overtime winner from Tyler Toffoli seals the deal in the 6-5 Devils win over the Vegas Golden Knights. Man, that felt really good. A point there in the first. Well, felt awful to start as we gave up the first goal as we always seemingly do this season. Tied it back up, took the 2-1 lead, took a 3-1 lead early in the second, and then got absolutely slapped around for like 4 goals in a row for 5-3. Then a beautiful last minute goal from Toffoli, his second of the night, to make it 5-4. And then nail biting almost that entire third period where we did look like the better team. I thought we had the better of the chances, and it felt like if we kept up that play, especially the way that top line was playing, we were going to tie it up. And tie it up we did, eventually leading to the overtime that outside of a single chance we did give up, absolutely dominated, mostly in part to Jesper Bratt. But to cap it all off, it was the Toff. So, lots to cover in this one. Glad we can end it on a high note and be happy about it because there was some down moments in this one as well. Let's go ahead and rewind quite a bit. Go ahead and start from the top. Lines were essentially the same here. Outside of on defense, Miller was sick, did not attend practice, and so Hataka did get called in to play the right side. That moved Marino back over to the right side. So we had Marino with Luke, Ball, and Nemec, and then Foot and Hataka. So first, I'm just going to go over this because I'm too happy to cover all the kind of bad stuff here. Essentially, every single goal against all 5, I could probably point to where on that play it was a defenseman or both defensemen's fault. All 5 of them, it really was just a miscue, bad read, or bad execution by one, if not both defensemen. Yeah, there's a couple plays that Mercer needed to hustle back more for, but if the defenseman, in my opinion, had made the shutdown play or right play up the boards or kept possession, any basically pick from a list here, most of those goals don't go in. Now, that's not to say I'm excusing Vitek from any and all blame on those. I didn't think it was actually his worst night by any means. He was swimming a little bit, but he does play that athletic style. He's going to swim in basically every single game, essentially, even if it doesn't feel like he did as much last year. But when you are a NHL goalie, 5 goals against, especially these ones, not all of them were no chance shots. He's got to have one, probably 2 of those. And I'm not saying 1 or 2 of those are his fault. I'm just saying big-time NHL goalies make big-time saves. And he had some good saves, key saves, saves that he needed to make for sure. But some of these goals were ones that, he makes one of those and we potentially win this in regulation. But it's a Western team, so who cares? We got the 2 points, gave up a point to a Western team that's making the playoffs anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change a thing. It's just all feel good. So we gave up the first goal. We end up tying it right back up. Gosh, I'm too hyped. I didn't even remind myself. I went right into recording the video of the order of the goals. Let's see if I remember here right in the moment. I know we had 3 from Toffoli. Obviously, we had the beautiful Nico Hischier goal. We had 2 from 2 from Lazar, and that's 6. So was the Nico goal first? That's what I'm going to talk about because it was beautiful. The passing play between Nico, Bratt, and Timo all night was just fantastic. The goal in particular with Nico with the helping in transition, Bratt coming down the boards, the pass over to Toffoli while Nico drives the net, the beautiful from behind the net pass from Timo back up to Nico with the beautiful shot. I mean, Nico probably should have had a goal on the first power play with that backhand shot move that was keyed for the top corner, if not for an amazing save by Thompson there. I gotta say, Thompson did not have his best of games, but he was probably one of the hottest goalies in the entire league over the past couple of weeks coming in. So this was a good game against a pretty good team who is just as injured as us. So you might hear some Vegas fans saying, yeah, we're missing a lot of our key guys. Well, yeah, we are too. So don't let them, for the few Vegas fans you probably do know out here, as there definitely are some, don't let them detract from a very good win by the team here. I'm going to say this again real quick. I meant to touch on this when I was going over the defensemen woes in this one. Two things. One, the top four is actually pretty good. Yes, they had some brain fart moments that all led to goals against, but all in all, if you count the full 60 plus minutes, I'm mostly going to focus on the 60 as obviously not playing as defensive pairs in overtime. They actually did, for the most part, push play in the right direction as far as generating chances for versus chances against, as far as at least goal scoring chances go. So it definitely not great games by defense. Again, I put all the goals against essentially on the defense, but the full package of play was actually pretty good from the top four. The bottom pairing there of Fataka and Foot got bombed in the first two periods. I thought they actually played fairly well in the third period. All eye test, so hopefully that tracks on the stats when I check them as they generate throughout the night and in the morning. Okay, now back to the good stuff, the goal scoring there. Oh, second point on the defense. I believe my math was correct here. The average age of our defense was just over 22 and a half years old. I think like 22 and 2/3 years old. That's compared to, not that it matters too much age-wise, but that is got to be by far and away the youngest defense by an average age in the league. Our oldest guy, I think, was Marino at 26. On the other side, the three oldest guys on Vegas, I think, were just a few handful of years off of being older than all of our six combined. The average age of Vegas's defense, just they were the team we happened to be playing, their age was 29 and a half. So basically an average of 7 years older per defenseman. Yeah, crazy just gap of experience of play here. But hey, big boys came through, the forwards came through. Again, Nico line all showed up with the big goal. The third line shows up. Now, I've been in the comments, I've been talking to lots of community stuff about how I did not see Holtz fitting on this third line. Now, that's not to say that I think Holtz is a fourth line guy. I don't think he deserves to be on that fourth line at all. He got multiple shifts in the top six with Mikey and Toffoli because I believe, unless he got hurt, and I didn't notice, but I believe Mercer got benched by the end of this game. Essentially flipped Holtz and Mercer, Willman, Tierney, and then Mercer did not see another shift at some point there in the third. It might even started in the second, but I think it was third period. Holtz then moved it to the top six, and we just ran three forward lines, and then obviously the overtime went how it did. Yeah, I like the third line as is, and then when Mercer was working with Mikey and at one point Timo, and then Toffoli moving there, it was very hard to find a spot where Holtz could move up and work. But hey, Mercer has a stinker of a game. Holtz gets the opportunity, and I thought he ran with it and played very well. I have always been a Holtz supporter, absolute huge fan. I think he has all the makings of a great offensive player on this team. And yeah, it's great to see him get the opportunity there and succeed in it. Now let's go back to talking about some goals. So, goal number 2 in this one. Again, I don't really remember the exact order of all of them here, but I believe this one, it's the Toffoli or the Lazar one. Again, that Toffoli shot is phenomenal. He was on the right dot, I believe it was here. Almost looked like he was about to get stick checked on that one, but somehow, some way, he always seems to get that shot off. He's probably one of the guys I've noticed this with the most. His shot always seems to run through the path of a stick check a lot of the time, whether it's on the puck itself, on his stick, and he still gets the shot off quite well. And in this case, he finds the back of the net. Lazar, both of his goals was just net crashing, baby. That's all it was, net crashing. That line getting in. His first goal, elite play by Nemec. I called it out the moment it happened. I'm glad the broadcast did as well. Just elite play to jump the Vegas player there at the blue line, keep the puck in, get it back in deep. Quick cycle. He doesn't get the assist. It's the tertiary Danico assist, as we're calling it here. But he creates that play entirely. Great passing between Hala and Bastian. And Lazar is the beneficiary of that. And like I said, that type of play, the below the blue line play there between Hala and Bastian, likely doesn't happen with Holtz. That's why I liked him more in the top six rather than changing up that third line at all, because I do like how this third line's been playing over this recent stretch. Now, we can continue on with the goal scoring. That was the 3. The 4th goal after Vegas ripped off the 4. We already touched on those on the defenseman. I don't want to talk about him anymore. Toffoli there, he starts cutting. He didn't have the foot speed to drive the net, and he's not really a net driver type scorer, although he can and has done it in the past. Instead, he pulls up, and I'll be honest, straight up, in the moment, I was like, oh, I wish he could have drove the net there, but he made me look silly, as he did head to the center of the ice. Again, almost seems to shoot it through another guy's stick. Boom, 5-4. That really rejuvenated the crowd and the team, I think, to head us into the 5th period, where Who? But once again, the one and only Lazar shows up, ties the game off of again. Just hard-nosed play from that entire line, drives the net, puck goes in, and it's a tied game. Now, I did have the heart attack there when Vitek left the net, lost the puck in his feet, almost just losing it into an empty net, but he didn't. Instead, we get to the overtime, had the guaranteed point. Brat, just a one-man army out there in overtime. Hits a crossbar, hits a post, sets up other plays. Beast modes it. Then Holtz out there in overtime makes multiple great back check, defensive play, board plays to keep possession, change possession, all of it. We get back up into the zone there. And then lo and behold, we get the beautiful setup over to Toffoli, who caps it off with the hat trick. That's what you love to see. I should have put my hat on for this. Beanie isn't really winter hat. All right, let's go ahead with the Toffoli hat trick. Go ahead, toss it there. That's the game, baby. I'm gonna go ahead and just say that's the video. Because just hyped. Enjoy it, boys. 2 more points. We are right back with games in hand. Points percentage, playoff position, all that stuff. It's all great. Feeling great. Loving it. Enjoy it. We got another game in a couple days, and all that stuff. So, as always, and forever, Toffoli hat trick, baby.